So four consecutive numbers. We have four consecutive numbers. And right now they're represented by the letter A, B, C, D. So first of all, what are consecutive numbers? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, one of consecutive numbers. 88, 89, 90, 91 are consecutive numbers. -4, -3, -2, -1 are consecutive numbers. So one that follows each other. You can have consecutive even numbers, which would be 2, 4, 6, 8, or 28, 30, 32, 30, 34. Right? You can have consecutive odd numbers and etc. Right? So right now we have four consecutive numbers. It doesn't tell us what they are, but it says that there are four consecutive numbers. And letter 1 says find four consecutive numbers so that if I add all four of them, I get a sum of 130. So while you can definitely try something like this, let me imagine the first one being 30, so the second one would be 31, the third one would be 32, and then 31, 33, and then add them up and see if you get 130, right? So here we get, let's see, 60, 90, 120, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so this would be a total of 126. So is that what we want? No. And then you would change and you adjust, etc. until you get to 130. So that's one way of doing, what do you call that? Guess and check, which is okay, but definitely not what I want you to do. So one way you can do this, and hopefully you got to this, is let's label these, rename these four consecutive numbers in a different way. Let's pretend the first consecutive number is called x. Well, what would be the number following x? Whatever x may be, whether it's 5, whether it's 20, a million. Well, the next number after x would be x plus 1, right? So the following number after x would be x plus 1. What would be this third number, again, which is two numbers after x, right, consecutively? So that you hopefully agree with me that would be x plus 2. And the third number after x would obviously be called x plus 3. So the first thing we do is rename them in this manner, right? So if x is 5, x which is 5, so 5 plus 1 would be 6, that makes sense. 5 plus 2 would be 7, 5 plus 3 would be 8. Are they consecutive? Yes. Whatever number you start with x, that would work. So let's think of the problem in this manner. So we have four numbers, and I know that if I add them up, it has to equal 130. What we're missing is this. We're going to put a plus sign here. Change colors. And actually, I'm going to put this in parentheses. So x plus the second number, which is represented by x plus 1, plus this third number, and plus this fourth number equals 130. Okay? So, well, eventually we're going to remove the parentheses, but it eventually becomes... Now, to remove the parentheses, there's a little thing that we're going to do in our heads, but imagine that each of these have a 1, an invisible 1 outside the parentheses. If you do this Trudy property, 1 times x is just x, 1 times 1 is 1. You get exactly the same thing without the parentheses, right? But that's, I still want to show you that. So again, this one is 1 times x, which is x, and then 1 times 2 is 2, and again, exactly the same thing. And then 1 times x, and 1 times 3, which is x plus 3. Eventually, you'll find out why we did this in the later problem. Now, combine like terms, we can combine this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and put them all together. I have 4 x's. X plus x plus x plus x is 4x. We can combine the constants, 1, 2, and 3, and if I add them up, I get 6 equals 130. Now, this is just a two-step equation. So, if you want to draw that line in the middle that I think you did in the 6th grade, we're going to get rid of the constant. We're going to subtract 6 from each other. From this side, 130 minus 6 is 124. This goes away because 6 minus 6 is just 0. 4x comes down. Right. This is 124. And divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, leaving me with x, and 124 divided by 4 is 31. So x is 31, which means my first number over here is 31. The following number is 32. Following number is 33. And the following number is 34. Now, to even double check to see if it's correct, if they happen to add up to 130, we are good. 131 plus 32 plus 33 plus 34 is indeed 130. So these are the 4 numbers we were looking for. Now, the second problem, it's pretty much the same. So again, we have 4 numbers. Let's say that's 4 numbers, 4 consecutive numbers, but instead of equaling to a positive number, they equal negative 38. So let me call this first number y, which means my second number is going to be y plus 1. My third number is going to be my y plus 2. And my fourth number is going to be called y plus 3. Right? And all that equals to negative 38. So I am going to put parentheses here, and we would go through that process of removing the parentheses, right? And imagine there's an invisible 1, invisible 1, invisible 1. Essentially, we get the same thing. I know. What's the point? We'll get there. So now that we have this, we can start solving our equation. Again, just like we did before, let's combine our like terms. This y, and this y can be united. We get 4y. The numbers is 1 plus 2 plus 3 against plus 6 equals negative 38. We want to divide both sides. Sorry, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. Positive 6 minus 6 is just 0. 4y comes down. Negative 38 minus 6 is negative 44. Divide both sides by 4. And y, my variable, my initial value, is negative 44 divided by 4, which is negative 11. So my first number is negative 11. If I add 1 to that, I get negative 10. If I add 2 to that, I get negative 9. And if I add 3 to negative 11, I get negative 8. So does this, put this parenthesis here. So it's negative 11 minus negative 10 minus negative 9 minus negative 8. Does that equal to negative 38? And if you took the time, take the time to do it, you'll find out that they are. So those are your numbers. 2, the sum of the first 3 is 4 more than the fourth. What are they? Well, again, let's identify my 3 numbers. Let's go back to calling them x, first number, second number, third number, fourth number. This one's a little bit different. The sum of the first 3. So let's add the first 3 number, x plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2. And that's going to be equal, the sum of that equals 10 more. 10 more means addition, right? 10 more than the fourth one. And this is your fourth number. And we're going to do it like that. So whatever the fourth number is plus 10 equals the sum of the first 3. And there's your equation. Let's take out the parentheses. x plus x plus x is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. And that side's 10 plus x plus 3. Sorry. Let me combine like terms here. 10 plus 3 is 13, and then plus x. This one gets a little bit more complicated, and it's okay. We have variables on both sides, so in this one we actually have to get rid of one of the variables from either the left side or the right side. So I'm going to do minus x here, minus x here. Put that wall here. 3x minus x is 2x plus 3. X minus x goes away. So remember our Noah's Ark, right? And we did the canceling. We crossed animals from both sides. As long as we threw some elephant out the left window, we could throw an elephant in the right window. So basically that's what I'm doing here, right? I am throwing an x on out the window from both sides. And by doing that, notice that these two x's go away, and then all I have left is 13. Look, now this becomes a very simple two-step equations that you already know how to solve. So Well, let's take care of that. So it's a two-step equation. We get rid of the 3 first, the constant minus 3 and minus 3 on this side. 3 minus 3 is 0, so those two goes away. We are left with 2x, and 13 minus 3 is 10. Divide both sides by 2. Right? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times x is just x, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So let's see if this works. So the first number is 5. Second number is 5 plus 1, which is 6. And the third number is 5 plus 2, which is 7. So on this side, I have 5 plus 6, which is 11, plus 7. This left side equals to 18. On the right side, let's substitute. So I got 10 plus, which is x is 5, right? So 5 plus 3 is 8. That's 18. Notice that my left side is exactly equal to the right side. And isn't that what an equation is? It's two expressions, one on the left side equaling the right side. So I know I'm good. Okay. This one says a plus d minus b plus c is always what? So, well, here's where you pick three consecutive numbers. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. And plug it in and see what happens. So we have 3 plus 6. On this side we have B plus C, which is 4 plus 5. 9 minus 9 equals 0. Pick another one. 20, 21, 22, 23. A, B, C, D. So we're playing. So again, we're doing A plus D, 20 plus 23. I'm going to subtract 21 plus 22, right, which is B plus C. 20 and 23 is 43. Minus 21 plus 22 is 43. And that equals 0. So will that always happen? It says always with a question mark. Is that always 0? Well, it works so far. What if we played with negative numbers? A, B, C, D, consecutive. Negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Let's see if that works. So A and D, it's negative 4 plus negative 1. That gives us negative 5. Okay. Minus, and then here would be the sum of B and C, negative 3 plus negative 2. Let's put that minus sign. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. And remember what this, so this says negative 5 minus negative 5, which is negative 5. Change it to addition, subtraction becomes addition, and the opposite of negative 5 is 5, so that becomes 0 as well. So it does seem that this works with positive and negative numbers. So always, I would say yes. Okay. So here you had something. You had a possible an expression that they actually wanted you to observe. You make a generalization, and the generalization here is that it always equals 0. And the last one. Here they want you to generalize. Well, let's observe first what happens when you do this. So let's pick 4 values. Again, they have to be consecutive numbers. 4, 5, 6, 7. Pick easy ones. We could have done 1, 2, 3. So what happens when you add 4 plus 5 plus 6 and then subtract 7? That's 11, that's 15 minus 7, which equals 8. Sorry, oops. First of all, 9 plus 6, 15, minus 7 equals 8. Oh, I can't generalize with that, so let me try another one. 20, 21, I just can't see a pattern or anything. So it'd be 20 plus 21 plus 22 plus minus 23. So it would be 20 plus 21, which is 41, plus, 41 would be 63 minus 23, and that's going to give me 40. Do you see a pattern here? 9 plus 6, 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. No, I don't see a pattern here yet. 20, 40, 60, 63 minus 23. No. Try another number. 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's add the first three. So we get 10 plus 11, 33 again. Minus 13 is going to give me 20. Did you notice something happening? Okay, I see something. So I see that the answer is always going to be one less than the sum of the first two. So that the answer to this is going to be one less than the sum of the first two. That's true here. If I add these two and take away one, do I get the answer? If I add these two and take away one, do I get the answer? If I add these two, take away one, do I get the answer? So literally you think, if you think about the last two numbers, right, because we're adding all the first three and then subtracting the last one, but in reality, if you just focus on the last two, what ends up happening, that's always negative one. These two is always negative one. This 2 is always going to be negative 1 because 6 minus 7 is negative 1. 22 minus 23 is negative 1. So the answer is always going to be the sum of the first two minus that 1. So let's try another one here. 8, 9, 10, 11. I can say that the answer is going to be the sum of these two, which is 17 minus 1. So the answer is going to be 16. So let's see what happens when I add 8 plus 9 plus 10 and minus 11. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 plus 10 is 27. And 27 minus 1 is 16. Look at that. So here's my generalization. The sum of the sum of three consecutive numbers minus the fourth is always going to be the sum of the first two minus 1. So let's try another one. 55, 56, 57 minus 58. So it's 55 plus 56 plus 57 minus 58. So the answer to this is going to be the sum of these two minus 1. 55 plus 56 is 111. 111 minus 1 is 110. So it's going to be 110. So let's add 55 plus 56 plus 57. Actually, I don't have to add all those. I know that these two is going to be negative 1, right? So what's 55 plus 56, which is 111, minus 1, 110. And there's my generalization. Okay, so the answer is always the sum of the first two consecutive numbers minus 1. Okay. All right, that's that.